Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 1 of the class 10 chemistry, chemical reactions and equation. The chapter name is chemical reactions and equations. First of all, we have to define what is chemical reaction. Then we will go to chemical equations. Okay? In class 7 you might have learned about two types of changes. What are the two types of changes around us? One is physical change, other one is called chemical change. So what is physical change? What do you mean by physical change? It's a temporary change. Okay? Folding of a paper is an example for that. So what is the example for chemical change? Burning of a paper is an example for chemical change. Chemical change is actually a permanent change which cannot be reversed. Okay? Here, what is a chemical reaction? Every chemical change accompanied with chemical reactions. Every chemical change accompanied with chemical reactions. So let us make a definition for, first of all, let us make a definition for chemical reaction. So by definition, what is chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is the conversion of reactants into the products. Conversion of reactants into the products. This is the definition of chemical reaction. It's the process of conversion of reactants into the products. Okay, what are reactants? Reactants are the substances which take part in a chemical reaction. The substance which take part in a chemical reaction is called reactants. And what are products? The substance which is formed after the chemical reaction is called products. Okay, let us take an example for chemical reaction. So the example is burning of magnesium. I think in class 7 textbook this example is there. Okay, burning of magnesium. So when we burn magnesium, and what will happen? Magnesium. When we burn, it reacts with oxygen. It reacts with oxygen. Magnesium. You burn, it reacts with oxygen, and a new product is formed. What is the product? Magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide. So here what are the reactants? Magnesium and oxygen are the reactants and magnesium oxide is the product. So the substance which take part in the chemical reaction, they are called reactants. Here magnesium and oxygen. Here what is the product? Magnesium oxide is the product. So what is definition of chemical reaction? It is the conversion of reactants into the products. So there are more examples to be discussed in this chapter that we will discuss later. Okay? Now, what is chemical equation? So we define what is chemical reaction. What do you mean by chemical equation? Chemical equation is the symbolic representation of the chemical reaction. So this is suppose this is the chemical equation, right? Magnesium react with oxygen and it forms magnesium oxide. So this equation is called word equation. Word equation. Okay. Now when we use symbols against magnesium, what is the symbol of magnesium? Mg. Mg. What is the symbol of oxygen? We use molecular oxygen O2. And we produce magnesium oxide. What is the symbol? MgO. So this is an example of chemical equation. Chemical equation. This is word equation. Second one is chemical equation. Okay. Now you know that reactant side, which is left of the arrow mark, and what is right of the arrow mark? That is product side. So this LHS side is called the reactant side. This is the product side. So just see number of atoms of magnesium in LHS and RHS. So they are equal. One magnesium we have, then we will product side for one magnesium. What about oxygen? In the product side, there is only one oxygen. So we have to balance it. So we have to balance this equation because number of atoms are not equal. So for that purpose, we have to balance. How to balance this equation? will study in next video. Okay, thank you.